I've always been fascinated by the rise and fall of empires and none quite captures the imagination like the British Empire. At its peak, this vast network of colonies and territories covered nearly a quarter of the Earth's land surface and ruled over 458 million people. But, how did a small island nation come to dominate such a large portion of the world? Well, that's what we're about to explore in this video. The story of the British Empire begins in the late 16th century during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. English explorers and traders started venturing out into the world, establishing colonies and trading posts. What made Britain different from other European powers of the time? Well, it was their naval superiority and their ability to establish effective colonial administrations. One of the key players in this expansion was the British East India Company. Founded in 1600, this company was given a royal charter to trade with India and other Asian nations, but it didn't just stop at trade. The East India Company ended up controlling large parts of India, essentially ruling it as a corporate state. This laid the groundwork for Britain's later formal control of the Indian subcontinent. The 19th century marked the golden age of the British Empire. Britain's territories now spanned across North America, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. The sun, as they say, never set on the British Empire. This vast expansion wasn't just about conquest. It was fueled by something happening back home, the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution transformed Britain from an agricultural society into the world's first industrialized nation. This gave Britain a massive economic and technological advantage over other countries. Steam power, factories, and new manufacturing processes allowed Britain to produce goods at an unprecedented scale. And, all those colonies? They became both sources of raw materials and markets for these manufactured goods. It was a cycle that made Britain incredibly wealthy and powerful. But empires don't last forever. The decline of the British Empire began in the early 20th century and accelerated after World War I and World War II. The cost of these global conflicts, combined with growing independence movements in the colonies, made it increasingly difficult for Britain to maintain its empire. India, often called the jewel in the crown of the British Empire, gained independence in 1947, setting off a wave of decolonization. The legacy of the British Empire is, complex. On one hand, the empire spread the English language, established educational institutions, and built infrastructure in many parts of the world. On the other hand, it also led to exploitation, cultural suppression, and in some cases, horrific atrocities. Today, the British Empire's influence can still be seen in the Commonwealth of Nations, the widespread use of English, and in the political and legal systems of many former colonies. As we've seen, the story of the British Empire is complex and multifaceted. It shaped the modern world in ways that continue to influence us today. From the languages we speak to the borders on our maps, the legacy of this vast empire lives on. Understanding this history is crucial to making sense of our globalized world and the relationships between nations. Thanks for joining me on this journey through one of history's most influential empires.